The Deadly Game, the second short story in the first Beyond the Unknown book, focuses on three people who take part in a race through a maze to earn their freedom. But as the saying goes, things aren't what they seem to be, especially since the maze's creator has other ideas. And they're not pleasant at all. In case you're interested, and especially if you're a die-hard TV viewer, the story's central figures were based on several real-life media personalities who should be both ignored and forgotten, and will be, and sooner than expected, if there's any justice in our world. In regards to one of the players in that particular short story, he's based upon a certain personality who's now the President of the United States in the world we live in. 3 guesses who? As you might have figured out by now, I'm no fan of so-called reality TV programs, which gives you a good idea of how the TV industry's reputation has somewhat suffered in almost the past 20 years. It also gives you a good idea of why I don't approve of our present U.S. President, even though I'm already a registered Republican. Roughly a decade ago, I wrote the internet short story 4 Characters Without a Clue, which focused on a quartet of people, all based on real-life media personalities who should also be better off forgotten, who are first tormented, then bumped off by their mysterious capture. Just like the trio of people in The Deadly Game. Unfortunately, over a half-decade ago, that particular short story ended up being permanently erased from the internet, while the computer document file containing the original story manuscript also ended up disappearing forever. And it wasn't the last time that I'd used fiction to show my disdain for what's wrong with today's mass media world. For example, Run for Your Life, Terry Spinner, the first story in Twists and Turns of Fate, for those of you who've actually bought and read the book itself. And the plot of another short story that I've written for the internet, Betrayed and Burned, plays an important role in my current book in progress, The Janus Terror. If there's any lesson to be learned from reading The Deadly Game, it's that anyone clamoring to be a so-called reality TV personality is definitely pressing his or her luck, and the fame associated with that dubious status isn't immune to the harsh realities of real life. Now you can understand why I'm hoping that someday such so-called reality TV shows like Survivor, Jackass, and The Apprentice will be permanently consigned to mass media limbo, maybe even sooner than expected. Now you can understand why I'm hoping that someday such so-called reality TV shows like Survivor, Jackass, and The Apprentice will be permanently consigned to mass media limbo, maybe even sooner than expected, especially if the President of the United States not only gets fired from this position, but also ends up in this new permanent home, where his fame and fortune won't be able to help him at all. All the more reason to say no to the reality TV, right?